Welcome to Jupiter and Pisces. Welcome to Cosmic Diaries. This is Priya Kali, your astrologer, and welcome to part 2 of the Jupiter and Pisces video. I've recorded and uploaded another video, so if you haven't seen that already, do please check that out because I've given an overview of this transit and you can apply that to your individual sign and rising sign. And in this video, of course, I'm going to do a quick run through of the 12 signs to see where this, so you can see where this transit is playing out and some of the themes that might come up. And of course, this is a broad reading, uh, but I hope you get something out of it. And if you want a personal reading, do contact me. But with that said, let's start with Aries. And I'm going to try and keep this brief, but you know me, I may tend to go on, so just fingers crossed. And do watch for your sign and your rising sign as well, for sure. All right. So let's start with Aries. Aries, for you, Jupiter enters Pisces, and this is your 12th house. And right now, the North Node is in Gemini, which is your third house with planets, a stellium of planets and eclipses coming up there. So with Jupiter moving through your 12th house, the 12th house is the most hidden part of your chart. And it's the part of your chart that relates with your subconscious, your dreams, your uh, unconscious stuff, your as well as your spirituality and God, your relationship with the universe, if not God, your role in the larger existence. And with on a very mundane level, with Jupiter entering your 12th house, the past few months have been in spite of, well, Jupiter has been in Aquarius, which is your 11th house, and you've seen at least one big hope or wish come true. Also, your social circle has expanded over the past 5-6 months. So now there may be a sense of you wanting to retreat, or at least you moving inward, because this is the 12th house relates with soul matters. So you're moving inward over the next couple of months to kind of soul search and dream a new dream and ask yourself and really reflect on what's come up and what's coming up and where you want to go from here. So, on a very physical level, for sure, make sure you're getting plenty of rest, and whatever else is happening on the surface, this is a great time to deepen your meditation practice. And any time spent in isolation will probably will definitely help you replenish, but also, give you a chance to really just be alone with your thoughts and find the inspiration that you need or the answers that you need to whatever it is answer that you're looking for, because what you're learning now is that you have infinite wisdom within you, and all the answers to all the questions you seek, or rather all the answers you seek to all the questions you might have, are already within you. It just takes you being quiet enough to listen to that inner guidance and trust that inner wisdom, and then allow it to guide you forward. So Taurus, for you, this transit takes place in your 11th house. And your 11th house, it rules your friends in your social circle and your community. And it also represents your house, is the house of your hopes, wishes, and dreams. So specifically the fulfillment of your wishes. So over, the next couple of months, your social circle is expanding, or at least over the next month, your social circle is expanding. You're dreaming new dreams and you're seeing how to manifest a vision, and you're connecting with people who can help you manifest a vision. But and Pisces is a sign of unconditional love. Jupiter there is unconditional love. So you may even be reconnecting with old friends. It's a good time definitely to, if there's been past hurts, this is a good time to forgive and let it all be water under the bridge. Doesn't mean you don't learn your lessons moving forward, and readjust boundaries as necessary. And with new friends, it's okay to move slowly and test the waters and explore your connections and see if your values match up. Because now with the North Node in Gemini and eclipses in Gemini Sagittarius, this is all about your values. And you're connecting with many glamorous people, but ultimately, who shares your values? And, you know, your heart will guide you through this. So listen to your heart. And then this is very expansive energy. It's beautiful, expansive energy. And something, whatever you've dreamed of for yourself, have faith the universe has dreamed it bigger and better as you're about to see. And, you're seeing that there were dreams that you never even thought were possible that are now materializing. So it's also a matter of you, valuing yourself and having more self worth and self esteem and being open to receive the gifts that are being given to you, but also looking beyond the surface of things and people to really look into the heart and soul of things and then seeing if it aligns with your values for life in life. And then you can, navigate your way forward accordingly and decide where you want to enter deeper or not. So that's Taurus and Taurus rising. Then for Gemini, uh, Gemini, Jupiter and Pisces is your 10th house. So this is about your career, your profession, your public image, your relationship with your mother, and your relationship with authority, your authority figures, as well as your own sense of authority. And the 10th house is the most public part of our chart, and currently now the North Node is in Gemini, which is your sign, and there's a stellium of planets moving through there, including the eclipses, and this is really about the entire Jupiter and Pisces transit. It's like there are huge opportunities arising, perhaps professionally, that can move you to the next level. But it's okay. What's important now is that you're being true to yourself and being authentic, because ultimately, you can succeed at anything, but what does success mean to you? And what do you want to be known for in this world? You could be infamous for a lot of things as well. So, and especially with, as a Gemini, you do have, it's not that you have split personalities, but you do have the ability to go to extremes. Wherever you have Gemini in your chart, or even if you have planets in Gemini, that's where, where we can tend to swing to extremes. But now this energy is asking you to really hone in your, be true to yourself, be your own authority in a sense. That doesn't mean you know it all. Rather, humility is important. But at the same time, then being able to be true and authentic and recognizing what you want to be known for in this world. And so you can manifest your greatest potential when you know who you are. Uh, Cancer. So, Cancer, my dear Cancers, uh, I love you. If you're watching, all my Cancers. Ninth house. Jupiter is in your ninth house, and this is the house of your international travel, uh, foreign lands, foreign cultures, legal matters. It's also the part of your chart which relates with religion and your spiritual path and higher learning and higher education. And in essence, this is about you finding, widening your perspective. Your world is opening up, your horizons are opening up, whether literally or metaphorically, and you're being drawn to explore new horizons and opportunities beyond the horizon. So, whether again mentally, or whether you're literally, making travel plans, in all, whatever's or whatever's unfolding, though, on the surface, on the deepest level, this is about you realigning with your spiritual goals and spiritual path, and then also being able to see your life, the from the, seeing the big picture of your life and connecting those dots, because the North Node now is in Gemini, and there are eclipses in a stellium of planets moving through Gemini. And this is about you trusting your intuition, listening to your inner voice and inner guidance, and allowing it to guide you forward. And as you will see over the next month and couple of months, definitely in these eclipses, there are new roads and avenues opening up to you. And you may not be sure where all of this is headed, and you may not have all the answers, but trust that since Cancer, the universe loves you, God loves you, and there's unconditional love pouring through in your world, and you are being guided. But trust that, and trust that you'll find your way forward, and trust that you have, people behind the scenes that are cheering you on that you're not even aware of. But now it's you having more faith and believing in yourself as well. All right, Leo. So for you, Leo, this is in your eighth house, and your eighth house relates with, um, it's about power. You're reclaiming your power in situations now. And especially where you might feel most powerless or out of control, recognize that what's happening now, it's a sort of an ego death. And the North Node, and there are planets in Gemini. So on the one hand, your world is expanding and changing. There are huge changes unfolding, and you're having to surrender a certain amount of control. But that doesn't mean that you can't set boundaries. And more, it's about you letting go of attachment to outcomes and now clarifying your values, and letting go of the values and patterns that have been, especially around sex and money and uh, stuff like that have been handed down to you from parents, or the patterns that you saw played out growing up. Uh, your eighth house deals with matters of transformation, death, sex, procreation. It's where energy merges on the deepest level. So, and of course, this is about power ultimately, the eighth house. So, this is definitely a chance to let go of power struggles and for renewal, even, and resurrection where you need it the most. But if something feels chaotic, or um, if you're feeling out of control, then it may feel counterintuitive. But let go of the things that you can't control, first of all, and then you can find a way forward. Because trust that whatever's unfolding now is for your highest good, and there's a cleansing and purification that's unfolding, and ultimately this is going to liberate you. um, Virgo. So Jupiter enters your seventh house in Pisces, is in Pisces, your seventh house, and this is lovely. This is all about your relationships and your one-to-one connections, business, personal. And Jupiter entering your seventh house is a time when you we tend to form significant relationships or a significant partnership. So if you're single, then this is very much an open, or even not even looking, this is very much a chance where you can meet someone who really brings that sense of good fortune into your world. And regardless, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. All your partnerships right now, you have a lot to gain from them. But it's also a willingness of you being able and open to receive, what's being shared. And again, that's not to say that if any relationship feels toxic or chaotic, or just if you need to take a step back and set boundaries anywhere, it's okay for you to do that. As a Virgo, it's easy for you to, step in and be the caretaker and take on too much for other people. But with other things that are happening, that's why I said watch the first video. You're also learning your power in situations, and your limits, and how far you will go and will not go, and what your bottom line is. So don't be afraid to draw those boundaries. Then trust that the relationships that are right for you will stay. And if anything, Jupiter is a protective influence. I mean, not only does Jupiter give, it also protects. So just be grateful. Be grateful for all the lessons you're learning and all the people in your life, because they're teaching you something. And well, the Gemini, the North Node, and there's a stellium of planets moving through Gemini, including Mercury, your ruler. So really, this is also about your authenticity and your ability to have your own authority in your life, and then not worry about what something looks like to the world, but asking yourself, what it means to you, or rather, you're defining what your relationships should mean or look like. And ultimately, only the two people in a relationship know what goes on. So, this is about you being really honest with yourself and, you know, exploring your connections, and then being able to make honest choices about the connections that you want to go deeper within, and the ones that perhaps you need better boundaries with. Um, Libra. So, Libra for you, Pisces is your sixth house. So, this is your daily life and your daily routines and your work and your health, even mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, on all levels. And with Jupiter here, life is full, life is busy, and hopefully you're enjoying this transit. Uh, with the stellium of planets moving through Gemini, which is your ninth house, and the North Node in Gemini, there's a sense of destiny calling, and you're being called to, live out your life's purpose. But this is all about you flowing with the energy and asking yourself, we're all always living out our life's purpose. You don't need to feel pressured about it. But the question is, are you enjoying your experience? Because you could be doing anything in the world to pay the bills. But now this is about you doing work that's meaningful for you. And for some of you, you may be studying, learning a new skill, perhaps starting a new job even, or but your life is expanding. And as it does, this is about you flowing with it, and then finding, you know, asking yourself if you feel fulfilled at the end of the day. And if not, then finding those ways to bring more fulfillment in. And you may not have all the answers about where to proceed next, but the sixth house is all about daily processes. So this is now having that bigger picture, or rather learning, you're clarifying a bigger picture, and then trusting that every day bleeds into the next. So if you're open to inspiration and you keep an open mind, then every day, there's magic surrounding you right now. And it could come in any form, through all the people you meet, whether in the grocery store or at work, or inspiration could strike when you're taking a bath. uh, Spa time will be great for you, or time at the beach, and just time to relax. So you're not overwhelmed, and you're enjoying life, and you're enjoying your experience as much as you're giving to life. And then there can be that sense of wholeness, and oneness with life, feeling like you're in flow of life, where it's an endless cycle of, replenishment and giving and replenishment. Um, and you're following your higher calling. So then the next uh, sign is Scorpio. And oh, my dear Scorpios, uh, for you, this transit is in your fifth house. And your fifth house relates with Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Your fifth house relates with love, your heart, your inner child, uh, romance, your sexuality. It's also your ability to stay in the present and take risks and be spontaneous and be in the moment. And, with Pisces in this, and your creativity, of course, above all, with Pisces in this part of your chart, like, your heart is an endless, infinite pool of emotion and creation and love. And, you know, as far as your sexuality, well, do I need to say anything as far as Scorpios go? But uh, now you're with Jupiter here. Jupiter is an expansive planet. You're discovering even more untapped potential within you. And this is really a chance for you to rediscover your inner child and get back in touch with your inner child and find your joy and what really, really makes you happy, and find that inner bliss, and then let it pour out into your life. because Jupiter now has, been in Aquarius for the past, since December. And you're seeing how, depending on how old you are, hopefully you've seen how supported you are in this world and how safe you are in this world to be yourself and to really let your inner light shine. And now, as Jupiter enters Pisces, there's a sense of, your heart expanding and becoming wiser because Jupiter brings wisdom. And, our inner child is wiser than we know and wiser beyond its years. So as you, reconnect with your inner child, you're finding new depths of wisdom and emotion within you, and, perhaps discovering aspects of yourself and your creativity and sexuality, and really that you didn't know existed, even perhaps, or that you'd long forgotten existed within you. And I mean, with all the planets in Gemini, the North Node and the stellium of planets in Gemini squaring this Jupiter, it also comes back to your self-esteem. Your ability to share and receive love, and to really value yourself and love yourself. So this is a time of expansion and growth, and the best you can do now is be honest with yourself and enter this with a in a spirit of self-discovery, and be present. And no matter what the past has been like, for better or worse, it's over. The fifth house really is all about the present, and you recognizing that every moment is a new moment to start again, and every moment is a new moment to create again. And this is true for a creative project, or for your life, or for love, or whether you're in a relationship, whether you're falling in love for the first time, or all over again, or whatever your circumstances, whatever it is that you're dealing with. Stay in the present and have faith and trust your heart. It's wiser than you know and think. So that's Scorpio. And oh, I will say Scorpio, creatively, like, as far as your self esteem, and there's goal to be mined here. Like, you can actually, tangibly profit from this. But ultimately, this is not about money. This is about your values and your heart finding joy. Because if you're happy doing if you love what you're doing, then the money will flow and follow, because you're finding that source of creativity within you, and that inner confidence is attractive and sexy. So find that. You're beautiful. Um, so Sagittarius, my dear Sagittarius, I love you. This transit is taking place in your fourth house, and your fourth house is the part of your chart that rules your uh, home and family, and your physical house, and this ground you stand on, in a sense. But it's also the deepest part of your chart. It's about your security, emotional and financial. It's also your relationship with your father. And with Jupiter now moving through Pisces, Pisces is its home sign. So there is a sense of a home coming for you at best. But this is also, very expansive energy. So I will say this, like, it's very watery energy. So, I mean, for example, my parents are both Sagittarian. That's for me, and have Pisces in my fourth house natally as well. Well, literally, my home in India, in Mumbai, there's been a cyclone, and the apartment's been flooded, and she's been pouring out buckets of water over the past few days, and there's been like water damage. So it could just be a lot of water energy. But at the same time, on a deeper level, what's happening now is you're growing in a sense of security over the next month or two, and you're seeing what really matters to you at the bottom of it all, and what really fulfills you and nourishes you and brings you a sense of belonging in this world. Because as a Sagittarian, Jupiter is your ruler, and yours is a very spiritual sign, as is Pisces. And your real home in this world is, I mean, your real home is beyond this world, but this is also a part of that world. And as a Sagittarian, I think you'll understand that more than even my words can say. So you're learning now to embrace this whole creation as your family, in a sense. The North Node and planets are now moving through Gemini, which is your opposite sign. And your relationships have a lot to do with this. And, as with all relationships, especially as a Sagittarian, some people rub us the wrong way and the others are others we love. But whatever it is that you're experiencing now, you're learning that your relationships are reflecting to you an aspect or mirroring to you an aspect of yourself. And there's no right or wrong way to deal with something, but you're having to find that inner compassion and inner wisdom in how you navigate this territory, and recognize that the whole world is your family. That doesn't mean you don't have boundaries, and that part of that comes through communication as well, with Saturn in your third. So um, so emotionally, financially, this can be a very fruitful time as well, or at least a time when you're becoming more secure and you recognize perhaps that no matter what happens, it's like this divine hand that's buoying you from below, where you can't drown. And if you feel like you're drowning, the first rule of drowning is to not panic. And the more you can surrender, you'll find that the resources you need, the support you need, the love you need is all there for you. And it's closer to home than you think. And sometimes it may just be a text message or a phone call away. It's just you being willing to reach out if you feel like you need it. So then Capricorn. Oh, my Capricorns, we love you. I seem to be saying that a lot right now. Maybe I'm just feeling the love. So Capricorns, you guys, you've had a rough past year, and but since December last year, Saturn and Jupiter both entered Aquarius, and you are. I know this is about Jupiter, but I'm going to have to touch on Saturn because Saturn is now stationary at the time of this in Jupiter ingress. So Saturn and Jupiter entered your second house, Aquarius, in December, and this has been a time since then of really getting clear on your values, and also you're you're learning lessons surrounding your self-esteem and self-worth and just how much you have to offer the world. And now with Jupiter, over the past 6 months, hopefully you've grown in self-esteem and as well as financial security, and in a recognition of your skills and talents and resources that you have, uh, just creatively, that and abilities that you have, which are in plenty, that you can use. Ultimately, the second house, it's about money, but it's also, you can make money doing anything, but what brings you joy? Jupiter is all about joy. So now let's get to Jupiter in Pisces for you, Capricorn. So now that Jupiter is in Pisces, this is your third house. So this is about your communication, how you communicate. There's big choices to be made. There are huge opportunities arising. And, mentally as well, this is a lot of energy. So if you're feeling overwhelmed at any point, it's okay to just, make sure you're taking care of your mental health, because there's a bunch of planets moving through Gemini, which is your sixth house. And that's the part of your chart that relates with your work. So work is busy and pretty much mental, could be. Uh, it depends on how you're experiencing this transit, because if things are getting out of hand or feel like they're ballooning out of hand, the next couple of months will help you or give you a chance to find clarity and make important adjustments, because Saturn is now stationing retrograde. So you're learning information and coming to important understandings that are kind of giving you a bigger picture, showing you other side to a story. You're seeing solutions where previously perhaps you did not. But a lot of it has to, of course, do with you being open minded and keeping those channels of communication open so you can find the solutions that you need rather than, look at what's just focus on what isn't working. Uh, and on a personal level as well, this can be a very healing transit for your mind. But again, if you're feeling overwhelmed, that means taking the time out to do what you need to replenish, whether that's reading a book or taking a walk or going for a short drive or, calling an old friend or whatever it is that helps you, find that escape. And I use that word carefully because it's not just about escaping, right? We can do many things to numb out and to escape. Life is calling your attention, and it's like all hands on deck right now needed. So you can't slip up, you can't drunk drive through this thing. Your awareness is important, but you can now make wise choices that will ultimately go towards shaping your life in a way that really works for you and is true to you and reflects an inner you. Um, Also, with that Saturn stationary and going retrograde, you're reevaluating a lot. So as information comes in and as you learn, make discoveries, keep an open mind, and you can reevaluate your boundaries as necessary. And in all your relationships, keep that dialogue open. That way, I mean, if you let me put it this way, there's a lot more coming to the surface over the next few weeks and through this Jupiter transit, right? So the more honest you're being with yourself, it'll be easier to be honest with others about where you stand. And then you can navigate your and make wise choices moving forward. Um, then Aquarius, this is about Jupiter and Pisces is your second house. And this is about your money, your income, your self worth, your self esteem, your possessions, but also your values, right? Your most intangible values, whom and what you value and why you value them. And most importantly, how you value yourself. And so you're growing an awareness of what you bring to the table in your relationships and what you have to offer. And as you do, because it's our self-esteem and self-worth that ultimately, determines the relationships or the resources we attract or the income that we attract. It's you believing that you're worth it. And right now there's a stellium of planets in Gemini, including the North Node in Gemini, that's moving through your fifth house. And this is about, your innermost self, in a sense of your inner child as well as your heart. Your fifth house also rules your creativity, love, uh, romance, your sexuality, things like that. So now, with Jupiter moving through your second house, all these planets in Gemini, you're just having to be very honest with yourself about what makes you happy, what you value, and what you're creating, and what you have to give, and how you even love and value yourself. Because then you can draw into your world whatever else it is that you want. And financially, emotionally as well, the spirit can definitely see you growing in self esteem and self worth and tangible abundance as well. But if at all you're sensing lack, then it's important now to recognize. I mean, Jupiter is all about gratitude. So start by being grateful for what you have, and you will recognize it's plenty. And once you get into that, space of feeling grateful, then the universe is able to deliver more because it's all about vibration. And when you're grateful, you'll find that you have more to be grateful for. And finally, Pisces, last but not least, Jupiter is in your sign. So this is all about you. It's you and your being and your potential, and you're growing now in self-awareness and understanding of who you are. And who you are is a divine being, but you are in this physical existence. And as Jupiter now moves through Pisces and the planets, stellium of planets moves through Gemini, including the North Node in Gemini, which is your fourth house, there's a sense of, you becoming very, I mean, this is something that you already know about yourself, but you're becoming very aware of how, you walk between worlds, this physical reality and a spiritual reality, a subtler reality. And you're more, it's not that other people don't have it or other signs don't have it, because we all have Pisces somewhere in our chart, and we experience this energy somewhere. But as a Pisces, this is very personal. It's your physical body, your container, or even if you're Pisces rising, especially if you're Pisces rising, it's your physical container and it's your consciousness. So you feel this on a more personal level. And Jupiter is now coming in and expanding your world and expanding your identity and self awareness. So, and your awareness of your potential and your gifts and your all that you have to give. And you can afford to be generous by all means, but it also begins with, you being kind to yourself, learning to be kind to yourself. And certainly there's an element of you having to let go of the past or forgive the past, whether it's with your family or even forgiving yourself for the past, or whatever the past has been like, for better or for worse. You've grown through it and it's taught you something, and now you're entering a period of, growing. As you grow in self-awareness, you can choose differently then as you become aware of your potential and your greater potential, because it's like your energy, ripples out in ways seen and unseen. Pisces energy does. And with Jupiter there now, it's even bigger. So you're becoming aware of how you affect the people in your life and your world. And with power comes responsibility. And then as you grow in this self-awareness and, wisdom, then you can shape your reality consciously and have more, will be able to steer the course or shape the course of your destiny more consciously. And ultimately, I mean, coming back to where I began with the Jupiter and Pisces overview, this is you coming home to yourself. You are this, you're coming full circle with yourself. And now, if if the ultimate journey of any soul is self-realization, this is your moment. This is your moment to shine. So the more you can be self-aware, you can open up to your true nature, which is oneness, oneness with all of existence and creation. Then you can be like that ocean that merges, rather the drop that merges into the ocean. So with that, I'm going to stop there. But I hope you found this useful, and thank you for watching. And do leave me a comment and let me know how you resonated with this. Thank you for watching, and bye for now. I'll be back with you with more soon.